Millionaires who have called on the rich to pay more in taxes launched protests this week in New York and Washington, including in front of Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos' homes. The effort is being organized by a group called the Patriotic Millionaires, whose members boast annual incomes of over $1 million or assets worth more than $5 million. Morris Pearl is chair of Patriotic Millionaires and joins us now. We're also joined by Yahoo Finance's Sibile Marcellus. Morris, thanks for being with us. I know that your group has said Jeff Bezos is the poster child for what you call the total idiocy of our country's tax code. How so?
Well, we have people who make huge amounts of money, are extremely wealthy, but really pay lower tax rates than people like you who have to work for a living. And it's just not fair. It's making the wealthy get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. And regular working Americans get farther and farther behind every year. And that's increasing equality. And it's decreasing the middle class that really makes our businesses possible. And that's what's harming our country.
So where did this idea come up to protest in front of Jeff Bezos' home? Did you guys actually do that? And did you have any interaction with Jeff Bezos? Any reaction there?
No, we did go to 212 Fifth Avenue, as you saw. But no, he was not there at the time, as far as I know. And we're not saying it's his fault. He didn't cause the problem. We're saying he's a symbol. He's the wealthiest person in the world. But by the way our tax system works, he does not have to pay very high taxes. We base taxes on income, not on how rich you are. And you can be very rich and not need any income. And we also have middle-class people who pay a tax on their wealth every year because most of their wealth is in their houses. But the rich do not pay a tax on their wealth. And we think things have to change, as Secretary Yellen said, as Kristin just reported.
Now, Morris, it's not just a problem of the wealthy, as you're putting it, not paying their fair share, taking advantages of loopholes and paying much less, but it's also the corporations. And obviously, Jeff Bezos, former CEO of Amazon, which I have reported, do not pay their taxes. So this isn't just necessarily a problem on the individual tax level, but also the corporate tax level. Now, Biden wants to bump that corporate tax rate up. Do you think it goes far enough, or do more, loopholes need to be plugged so that corporations, which are making billions in profits, are paying more than the average taxpayer?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. As Kristin and Alexis were just saying, what the Republicans want to do, they say corporations need to have more money to give them an incentive to help the economy. But workers, we need to give workers less money so they'll have an incentive, or they'll have more problems and they'll be forced to go back to work. They have just the completely opposite logic. For the rich, we have to give them more money. For regular people that work for a living, we have to give them less money. That's just wrong.
Well, some billionaires actually are not against raising taxes on the ultra wealthy. I'm thinking of Bill Gates here. He's spoken about this issue. So what do you think it'll actually accomplish if Biden is able to raise corporate taxes, raise taxes on the wealthiest Americans? Are we talking about better bridges and roads in the country? What's he going to do?
Well, I think we are. You hear a lot of the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate saying we can't increase our deficits, even though they thought that was fine at the end of 2017. But they say that we need to hold the line on deficits. So, yeah, we need to increase taxes. And the only people who have money who can pay taxes are the very rich. And so, yes, that you can have a direct line between taxes and more bridges and more roads and more rural broadband and more of the things we need to make the United States the country it is.
All right. Absent changes in the tax code, right? As you mentioned, this is not necessarily the fault of the rich. They're just taking advantage of the tax code that is laid out in front of them. But if there aren't tax changes that are made, if, we can't have some sort of bipartisan support to reform the tax code, what can the wealthy do, as you see it, to do more and pay more of their fair share? Should a lot of the wealthy in the country start volunteering to give the IRS more money every year?
No, that doesn't work. You can't run a country club with everyone paying what they decide to pay. You can't run a country that way either. We need to change the system. The wealthy people have to stand up and talk to their congresspeople who call them all the time They don't even have to wait in line. The wealthy people have to tell their congresspeople, no, inequality has gone too far. We have to change the system. And once the wealthy people, the people who are active and political donors, people like that, say that, it will happen. Believe me. That's what the wealthy people have to do.
And I know that you're real quick here. Do you plan on returning to Jeff Bezos' home and protesting one more time?
Well, I don't know if we're going to go back to his home or not. I mean, our office is a 5-minute walk from his house, so we walk by all the time. But that's symbolic of the fact that we have such great wealth, people who became hugely more wealthy during the pandemic, while millions of people lost their jobs and don't know where they're going to pay their rent next month and are not doing business people and investors any good either. It's just that symbol of amazing wealth that's incomprehensible put against people who are losing their jobs and losing their income, and we have to make a change to it.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Morris Pearl, chair of Patriotic Millionaires, thanks for being on the show today.